I've watched good guys do everything right on paper and still walk away empty-handed. They show up, remember the little things, make her laugh, and genuinely care. Yet she never says what she truly feels. Sometimes she even walks away, leaving him wondering what he missed. It is not always because he did something wrong. Sometimes he simply never created the emotional safety that made her feel comfortable enough to open her heart. You might think a woman stays quiet because you made a mistake or said the wrong thing, but feelings are rarely that simple. What matters is whether she feels safe enough to stop holding back and be honest about what is happening inside her. That is what this is about. 7 direct principles that make a woman feel understood, comfortable, and safe enough to tell you the truth. No games, no tricks. Just a better understanding of how emotional connection actually works and how you can create the kind of space where genuine feelings can finally be spoken. First, understand why she stays quiet. She is not playing with you. She is scared. The more she likes you, the more scared she gets. If she says it and you don't feel the same, she loses the entire connection, the daily conversations, the comfort, and the bond you share right now. That risk feels huge, so she waits. She hopes you will go first. She drops little signs and then pulls them back. Meanwhile, you sit there thinking she feels nothing. She does. She just needs to feel safe. These 7 principles build that safety directly. 1. Leave space. Being there for her matters. But when you answer every message in seconds, comment on every post, and offer to hang out the moment she says she's free, you become too easy. There is no room for her to miss you. There is no moment where she wonders if you are thinking about her. Think about the people who left the deepest mark on you. They were not always instantly available, and sometimes you had to wait for them. That waiting made the time you spent with them feel bigger. Attraction requires that same emotional breathing room to expand, so keep your life instead of dropping everything the second she appears. Stay focused on your career goals, spend time with close friends, and pursue your personal passions with energy. When she sends you a message, reply when it naturally makes sense and you are free. Stay warm and kind, but allow yourself to have a life entirely independent of her. During the quiet moments when you are busy pursuing your own goals, she has space to process her feelings and notice the difference between when you are around and when you are not. That noticing can make her realize how much she values your presence and create a natural pull toward you. 2. Make her feel truly understood. Most guys try to impress her by talking about what they own, where they have been, how funny they are, or how successful they look. She has heard those stories before. Admiration is polite, but it rarely creates a deep emotional connection. What matters more is the feeling that you actually understand her, that you hear what she means, not just the words she says, and that she does not have to perform or explain herself over and over when she is with you. Stop trying to be the most interesting person in the room and make her feel like the most interesting one instead. Listen closely to what she says and pay attention to the emotion underneath her words rather than immediately giving advice, changing the subject, or turning the conversation back to yourself. When she talks about her childhood, family, struggles, or responsibilities, try to understand what those experiences made her feel. When you can recognize something beneath the surface and put it into words, she may have a moment where she realizes, nobody listens like that. That feeling of being genuinely seen can create more attraction and trust than any impressive story, expensive clothing, career title, or expensive dinner ever could. Focus on understanding her inner world, and she will begin to associate your presence with the rare feeling of being truly understood. 3. Give her your full attention, then return to your own life. This feels simple until you actually practice it. When you are with her, give her your full, warm, undivided attention. Put your phone away, look at her, listen to what she says, and stay genuinely present instead of thinking about what comes next. Make her feel valued in that moment. Then, when the time together is over, return naturally to your own life, work, responsibilities, friends, and personal goals. The mistake most guys make is choosing one extreme, either staying glued to her with constant messages and attention or pretending to be cold and distant. Neither is necessary. The better approach is complete presence followed by healthy independence. You do not need to keep a conversation alive for hours after seeing her, monitor her online activity, or constantly look for reasons to reconnect. When you are together, be fully there. When you are apart, be comfortable living your own life. That contrast allows her to experience how good it feels to have your attention without making your entire life revolve around her. When she later finds herself thinking about the time you spent together, that natural space gives her room to recognize how much she enjoyed having you around. 4. Let her talk, then ask questions that go deeper. People often develop stronger feelings for those who make them feel genuinely interesting. And one of the best ways to create that feeling is by asking questions that go beyond surface-level small talk. How was your day? Usually gets a simple fine, and the conversation goes nowhere. Instead, ask questions that invite a real story or emotion. Ask what the best and worst part of her day was. What moment made her laugh the hardest this week? What song she listens to when she is in her feelings and wants to be alone? Or what she misses most about being a kid? Questions like these give her an opportunity to share parts of herself that she does not reveal to everyone. When she opens up about personal memories, emotions, and experiences, she begins to feel that you are genuinely interested in who she is rather than simply making conversation. That creates trust and emotional connection naturally. Over time, those deeper conversations can make your presence feel more meaningful to her than ordinary small talk ever could. 5. Have your own opinions. A lot of guys agree with almost everything a woman they like says because they think agreement will make them more likable. She loves a movie? He loved it too. She chooses a restaurant? Sounds perfect. She shares an opinion? He immediately agrees. But constant agreement can make you invisible because she stops seeing a real person and starts seeing a mirror. You cannot build a meaningful connection with someone who has no opinions, standards, or identity of their own. When you disagree, do it with warmth and honesty rather than turning it into an argument. If she loved a movie you disliked, say, I actually didn't love it. The ending felt lazy. If she suggests a place you do not enjoy, tell her and offer an alternative. You are not trying to prove her wrong. You are simply being genuine about what you think. Those small moments of honesty show that you have your own standards, boundaries, and self-respect. And when she sees that you are willing to tell the truth about something as simple as a movie or restaurant, she has a reason to believe you when you eventually tell her something that really matters, especially how you feel about her. 6. Build your own private world together. You know that moment when something happens and you both look at each other because only the two of you understand? That feeling can become powerful over time. Inside jokes, shared references, private nicknames, a word that means something only to you two, or a place that holds a story you both remember can create a unique connection that nobody else shares. Pay attention to the small, funny moments that happen when you are together. A silly mistake during a road trip, a strange person you both noticed at a coffee shop, or a random phrase that made you both laugh. Bring those moments up naturally later. Each one becomes another thread connecting you, and eventually those threads form a private world that feels uniquely yours. A simple running joke can become a quiet reminder every time it comes up. This is ours. The more meaningful memories you create together, the more irreplaceable the connection can feel, because losing the relationship would also mean losing all those shared moments that exist nowhere else. 7. Let the future feel natural. Some guys push too hard when they like someone. They ask where the relationship is going, bring up the future in a heavy way, or demand a label before the connection has had time to develop. That kind of pressure can make her pull back. Instead, keep future plans light and natural. Say things like, you would love this place. We should go sometime. There's a festival coming up that is completely your vibe, or we need to watch that together at some point. None of these statements demand an answer, promise, or commitment. They simply introduce the idea of experiencing something together in the future. When she starts imagining herself sharing those moments with you, the connection can begin to feel more real and familiar. Over time, those small future references can help her see you as part of her life beyond the present moment, without forcing her to define what the relationship is before she is ready. These 7 principles are not separate tricks. Their real power comes from the way they work together when they come from the same person. She begins noticing that her thoughts keep returning to you throughout the day. She checks her phone to see if you have texted, brings you up in conversations with her friends, and finds small reasons to spend more time around you. Eventually, there may be a quiet moment when the feelings she has been carrying become too difficult to keep inside. Maybe she says it directly, or maybe she laughs afterward because she cannot believe she finally said it, but she tells you how she feels. It works because you created space for a genuine connection to grow. You stayed real, present, and warm without becoming needy or overwhelming. You maintained your own life while making her feel understood, and you remained honest instead of changing yourself to win her approval. Most of this goes against the instinct you feel when you really like someone. That instinct tells you to be around more, try harder, impress her, agree with everything, and constantly prove how much you care. Real connection is usually quieter and steadier. You do not need to master all 7 at once. Pick one and start there. Let it become part of how you naturally interact with her, then build from there. The goal is not to manipulate her into confessing anything. It is to create the kind of connection where both people feel comfortable being honest about what they feel.